So after about 20 minutes, we're now ready to start making some different flavours of fudge. Whilst you're waiting for the fudge to finish, it's worth just lining your trays with silicone paper. We provide this paper pre-cut into rectangles. You just need to cut the corners so that it fits into the tray. I'm doing one at a time here, but you can do a dozen or more just to speed things up. Once you've done that, push it into the corners and then pile it up on other trays. And I'm now going to show you how to make 4 different flavours of fudge. If you look in the manual, there's about 30 or 40 different flavours. And if you want to try something different, we've probably got a database of 300 or 400. The first one I'm going to do is just a simple chocolate and honeycomb. So I'm going to pour some fudge out of the kettle and add honeycomb to it. There is a technique here for pouring fudge so that you don't make too much mess. Firstly, always make sure the motor is off. And then just tip the kettle gently towards you and let the fudge pour into the tray. What a lot of people do to try and stop the fudge from pouring out is catch it down here and flip it back into the kettle, and it tends to hit the ceiling. What you need to do is just let the kettle move back up towards the vertical and then scrape back the sides very gently. Whatever's falling out of the kettle, you can just let it fall now. And there we have the first tray of fudge. I'm just going to simply throw some honeycomb on top of that. You can do this in the bowl if you like, it really doesn't matter. There's not really a right or wrong way of doing it. You get more of a swirled effect if you do it in the bowl. This looks quite nice though. Right, I'm now going to make a cherry and hazelnut. Again, we're just pouring the fudge straight out into the tray, and then we're going to add some nuts to it and some cherries. Hazelnuts are the best nut to use for these, but a lot of people use walnuts as well. They're a little bit cheaper, so they can help your margins. These are dry roasted hazelnuts. Sprinkle those on. And then some cherries. Again, all of these are supplied by Calico if you need them. You don't have to buy anything from us. You can buy them locally if you've got a local supplier. And we just push these in. Try and make sure they're quite well spread throughout the tray. Okay, so now we're going to make a rum and raisin. And to do this, we're going to use the fudge bowl. You'll see on the side of this bowl there's graduations there that show different cup levels. If you're adding nuts or raisins or cherries or anything to the fudge, go up to about the 7 cup level. And then you add about a cup of raisins or nuts or whatever you're using. If you're not adding anything, but you're just having a flavoured fudge, then pour it out up to about the 8 cup level. So I'm going to go to 7 cups, add a bit of rum essence, and then some raisins. You can add the raisins in the tray, or you can add them in the bowl. If you do add them to the bowl, the fudge can look a little bit more mass-produced, so I prefer to add them to the tray. So I'm just coming up to about 6 cups, when I'm going to ease up and slow the fudge down. And there we have it. 7 cups of fudge, and then you want to add the rum essence. Now in the manual there's instructions for how much flavouring you need to use, but I suspect most people don't see the manual, so we've written it on the instructions on the label as well. And this is about 1.5 teaspoons. You can guess this really. 1.5 teaspoons of rum essence, and just mix it in. Mix right down to the bottom of the bowl, and then pour it into a tray. Now, these spatulas are designed so they really can get all the fudge out of the bowl. You scrape right round, the bowl's almost clean. And just take some raisins, pour it over the fudge and then mix them in. There's about 250 grams of raisins in that. Make sure they're mixed all the way through the fudge. You don't really want just plain rum fudge. It's not particularly good in terms of sales. There we go. And there you have a rum and raisin fudge. You can make whiskey and raisin with the caramel. Chocolate rum raisin is also very popular. Or a raisin and nut fudge is also very popular. Okay, so now I'm going to make a raspberry ripple. And to do this, you're just going to pour fudge out into the bowl. Now we're not adding any nuts or raisins to this, it's just straightforward raspberry fudge. So I'm going to pour it up to 8 cups. And then we're just going to add some raspberry mash to this. About 3 tablespoons of raspberry mash. And then you don't want to mix it in too much, so you get a rippled effect. Again, the instructions are on the side of the container if you need them. So we're mixing that so it's just slightly rippled, and then pour it straight into a tray. If you want to, you can pour a little bit less of this out and cover it with chocolate, and some people swirl it with chocolate as well. You can do the same with the strawberry essence and a bit of red colouring to give a strawberry swirl. It also sells quite well. And there you have it.